Hey guys, welcome back to Teal House Farm. Ivy and I just got back from buying hay for our goats, and I want to show you today, I'm going to show you something really cool that a viewer sent us, and we're going to test it out together. But I thought it also, just if you're interested in how much hay does it take for the winter, this is our second round of 6 bales of hay. Bales right now, I paid $8.75 a bale. So a bale lasts us about 4 days. So we have 2 male goats and a nursing mama with baby goats. So we need about a bale every 4 days. So this will last me 24 days, so just shy of a month. It cost me $52.50. So by the end of winter, when we can finally put them all out in pasture, they don't need anything extra. We'll probably spend about $200 in hay for those goats. So not terrible, but it does kind of add up a lot to feed over winter. Something to keep in mind if you're thinking about keeping dairy animals, especially if you want to keep, like we have a breeding set, so we have to feed the buck all the time, even though he doesn't do anything other than his one job every year. So something to keep in mind, because the expense does add up, right?
It does.
It does, but it's still much cheaper than buying a tractor to cut our own. And how do you feel about getting out there and using a, what do they call it, a scythe? Scythe? What do you call that thing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that would be fun. It'd be fine if you had enough animals, but we just don't have a lot.
To cut it yourself, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I guess you're going to unload for me because you got muscles?
Sure.
Should have gotten a video. I fell over trying to load it into the truck at MFA, but I didn't get it on video. I'm fine. It was embarrassing, though. I did it in front of everybody who was watching. Minnie Mouse! Hi. If I want to grab a hay bale?
Yeah, but I'm not going to stop
You're not going to stop me? I don't know. I usually cheat. I don't know where the wagon is. This is how I move hay bales. I'll show you. Peekaboo! Peekaboo! Okay, sorry for all the background noise. Some of the girls are doing school on their computer. Ivy's taking a math test over here. Mr. P's in there playing with some toys. So there's a little bit of everything going on right now. But I thought it would be a good chance to show you this really neat item that Mary Beth, one of our viewers, sent to us. And I'm excited to try it out. It's a sealing tool kit. So this is for vacuum sealing mason jars. And this is such a great thing. I've always wanted to try this. So thank you very much, Mary Beth. And as I said in my last unboxing video, you know what it's like around here. There's always lots of things to spend money on, so we tend to not spend money on new gadgets, even if they would be really helpful in the kitchen. So really neat and thoughtful of Mary Beth to think of us and to send it our way, and I'm excited to try it. So the basic idea is that you're going to be able to suck all the oxygen out of any size mason jar and be able to turn already somewhat shelf-stable food into a very extended shelf-stable food. So if you're talking about like soups and meats and vegetables and things like that, you still need to can those, which we do around here all the time. But when you're looking at dry goods, like if we make jerky, which I've done before, when we dry fruits and vegetables, even beans and rice or flour and sugar, if you buy it in massive quantities, you can then use your vacuum sealer to extend the shelf life much farther than in its packaging, especially if you're looking at something where you're going to buy it in bulk, excuse me, and you're going to open that packaging, once you open the packaging, your shelf life plummets unless you can get it into another vacuum environment, which is what this provides. So if you are living in, like if you're living with only one other person or just yourself, so a small family situation, you might think, you might see a really good deal on flour and be like, gosh, I'd love to just buy enough for a couple years. It's super cheap right now. One option is to freeze it, but freezer space is expensive, right? Because you only have so much space in your freezer, and buying a new freezer is expensive. So vacuum sealing in a mason jar becomes a really great solution where you can buy, 50 pounds of flour, which might take a small family several years to get through, and keep it shelf stable for a very long time in the mason jars. So let's open this up together and see what we got. All right, so it's not a very large package, which is kind of nice because sometimes gadgets can take up a lot of counter space, but this is nice and tiny for packing a lot of punch. So let's go ahead and open it up. The girls already peeked in here if you can't tell, but I haven't opened any of the actual contents. All right, so first we have the instruction booklet, which is great. Just basic how to use, and I love that it has step-by-step picture instructions and written instructions as well. That's always really helpful to me. So instructions, the instructions are only in English, which I do mention because I know we do have some international viewers. I want to make sure you know that these instructions are English only. They do not have other language options like a lot of things you might order on Amazon would. We also just have the general information about the vacuum pump and how to use it safely. It looks like they also have instructions for using it with Ziploc bags, vacuum sealing Ziploc bags, which would be really helpful if you freeze meat in Ziploc bags, so that might be nifty for you. And let's open it up. So we have, I'm assuming, is going to be 2 different vacuum lids. Yes, so this would be for your regular size mason jars. And this one is for the wide mouth. And these are plastic. They're nice thick plastic though. They do not feel fragile at all. And they have what feels like either silicone or a rubber ring for the vacuum seal. Okay, and then we have our vacuum tubing. So one end will go into your jar top. The other end will go into the vacuum to suck the air out here. And we do have I don't know if it's an extra or an expansion tube, but when we test this out in a minute, we'll see what this is for. They also provide just some generic lids. You do not need special lids to do this. You use your normal mason jar and your normal lids, but it is fun that they give you, it looks like 4 lids here, 2 small, 2 large. And the last thing here is the vacuum pump, which we'll open, which is very small. The instructions do say you can use a hand pump too if you'd rather. This one looks like it's charged off a USB. So there's the cable. So I'm assuming you use a box and plug it in, or I mean, I don't know how much energy it uses. You might be able to power it off your laptop. We'll see. But here's the actual pump. Pretty basic. It's got a power button, and then the bottom where you connect it to the pump, the tubing, so you can suck the air out. Pretty simple. And there is the charging port. All right, I missed one thing. They're still in the box. It does have a can opener, so a lid de-sealer to take it off if you don't want to keep breaking fingernails pulling off your lids like I do. Okay, we're back. It's now after dinner time. JJ is going to help me, and we're going to try a couple different kinds of jars.
This is stuck.
I'll get it. We have a quart jar, we have a pint jar, and we also have a medium jar, which is a repurposed Atlas pasta sauce.
This is a little jar.
Mason jar thingy from the store. So, and by the way, sorry about background noise. The other kids are watching a movie, and it's kind of loud. So, okay, so we're going to try making our own version of like a rice-a-roni. So we just have some regular white rice, and we're going to put in some chicken bouillon powder, so that when we make it up, it's kind of like a pre-packaged chicken flavored rice. So let's go ahead and see how this works. So the first thing we need to do is fill our jars. Everything is obviously clean. This jar has a lot of hard water stains. I could have rinsed it off with some vinegar, but I didn't feel like it, but it is clean. So we're gonna go ahead and fill them. The instructions say to make sure you have at least an inch headspace, so that's going to be the bottom rim. We'll probably leave just a little bit extra. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's pour.
Help me. Alright.
Keep going.
I did it.
There we go.
Nice.
Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna add our chicken bouillon powder. You ready, JJ?
Can I do
You
it?
sure can.
Can I do it by myself?
Yes, you can. We're gonna put 1 teaspoon in the 2 smaller jars, put 1 teaspoon in the 1 smaller jar, 2 teaspoons in the 2 bigger jars. I'm gonna get a little bit of rice to top off this quart jar. I have some more in the pantry. I got it. 1. Okay. 2.
The
Put lids on the jars.
golden.
Okay. And then we're going to put this on. Which jar you want to do first?
Small one.
Okay. Put it on top of the lid. Nice and snug there. Okay, it says we have to press it and count to 6. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we have
Is
our...
it going to hurt?
No. Okay, let go of the jar. This goes on.
I turn on?
Hang on. Okay. I will say the instructions that came with it are very sparse and the picture was not very good. So I couldn't get it, but I think Sam came and he helped, and this isn't exactly how the instructions say to do it, but it worked on one of the jars, so I'm going to show you what we did. Alright, so the instructions are actually for like a manual pump, and then they have like 2 pictures for the electric pump. So I think there's 2 versions you can buy. So the electric pump picture is not very clear about how to attach. So we're going to use the hose and attach it to the nozzle on the end of the electric pump. And we're going to hold it till we hear a pop. You hear that? I know the kids are being loud. Okay, so now we did it right. We should be able to remove this part and the lid should stay on, but this fits so tight. There we go, we did it. Sealed. All right. So the lesson is, sometimes the directions aren't the best. So we waited until we heard a real definite pop, and also you could feel the pump, like the sound changed, like it was really powering down because there wasn't any air left to suck out. So it's all sealed. How cool is that? I'm gonna try seeing if I can invent my own versions of some of his rice-a-roni favorites, like a Mexican rice mix and stuff, so we could have them, but with better ingredients. So if you have anything like that you do, we would love to hear from you. I think it'd be really neat to just have them vacuum sealed in these jars, so I'm in no hurry to use them, and the pantry is super well stocked. Thanks so much again, Mary Beth, for thinking of us. I have lots of plans for this little vacuum sealer, and we will see you guys all next time.